Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the Gathering Silent Hill Pyramid Head pre-painted resin statue. Spot picked this up over at www.e2046.com. It's a place where I've picked up resin statues before, and this gorgeous piece is a 100% hand-done paintwork from the folks over at Gathering. Now, Resident Evil and Silent Hill are probably my two favorite horror video games of all time. And of those games, my favorite character, I was going to say really villain, but my favorite character of all time has always been Pyramid Head. Something very creepy, something very scary about Pyramid Head. But to get him in a pre-painted resin statue is so cool. The box itself is just basically all black, and featured on the front is artwork of the statue, as well as there's some artwork in the back there of Silent Hill. You may not see it, but right at the back there's also Pyramid Head, my guess, walking down the hallway there. What I am going to do is get this opened up. There's a little bit of assembly, so we're going to get this opened up, put it together, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the Gathering Pyramid Head pre-painted resin statue. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Just before Spot shows you the Pyramid Head, I also want to show you the inside of the box, because they really pack the figures extremely well. Again, he has multiple pieces to him when you put them together, but each piece is carefully wrapped and then tucked in there with some packing material, packing foam and stuff like that. So everything is very, very secure when you're taking the pieces, and certainly shipping it to you, all the pieces are securely fit in there as well. Getting a Pyramid Head out of packaging, it will consist of 6 pieces to put together, and for that you get yourself also an instruction guide. One side shows you the completed resin statue, on the other side the 6 pieces that you put together. The main body, the small victim's body that he drags with him, the floor display stand, the sword, and the head are all separate pieces. You also get yourself a Gathering placard stand. I'll show you guys all that in a second. But assembly very easy. Probably I would say the hardest aspect to put on Pyramid Head of all things is probably his sword. His sword, if I can just reach it out of his hand here, his sword is pegged into his hand by one singular peg. So you just have to kind of line it up to his hand. And because the sword drags behind him, you have to kind of fit it under his thumb and then peg it into place like so. But it's an absolutely gorgeous piece. The painting on it is quite impressive. The stand that Pyramid Head stands on is really nicely painted as well, though you probably won't see most of it because Pyramid Head and whatever he is dragging with him will be standing on top of it. But I wanted to take it off so you guys can see all the detail that's been put into the floor. There's an aged aspect to it. I mean, a lot of the boards and stuff like that have been removed and lifted from the floor. So it's got an aged but very impressive look to it. If you so desire, you can also take off one of the mangled creatures from the Silent Hill game. You can also remove from Pyramid Head. You could really leave Pyramid Head standing on his own. You could also then put the sword in his hand and just have him standing as a freestanding piece. The nice touch is including this piece as well, where you can really see all the paintwork that's been added to the creases and crevices of the sculpt here. Gathering is a high-quality, hand-painted resin statue company, so they are producing and creating professional hand-painted pieces like this. Both the creature, if you want to call it that, as well as Pyramid Head are 100% hand-painted. Somebody's actually gone in there and painted all the little creases and crevices on the sculpt, and gives you a finished piece that looks phenomenal. Both the head and the torso of Pyramid Head is where you really appreciate the paintwork that's been put into the piece. Not only is it the rusted red color that we've come to expect with Pyramid Head, but there's all the little areas that have been washed with a darker color, darker grayish color, and then there's been a couple of lighter accents added there as well. There's a lot of depth to the piece, And more so when you start looking at the back section of it, where he's got the tissue undercarriage or undersection of his helmet, you can see all the paint that's been put into that as well. Very meticulous paintwork, but all bring those details out into the forefront. Both in Pyramid Head's arms as well as the, I think this is like a butcher's skirt that he wears here. All again, very, very meticulously painted. Not all the aspects of the outfit that he wears are fully painted in. You can see areas where it looks like the material has kind of shredded and has aged, where little holes and areas are peeking through. All of it very, very nicely detailed. Areas like his vein work are painted in like a grayish color, but then there's a bit of a purpley gray that's been overlaid in there too, again to bring a lot of those details out. Of course, you also couldn't have Pyramid Head without his extremely long, sharp blade. Now, luckily, this isn't a sharp piece, but you can see that all the kind of has a rusted, aged look to it as well. Looks like something he's been dragging around for a very long time and has probably decapitated many a victim with it. All the pieces you also get from Gathering include a Gathering placard, something that, you know, you can just put on the display stand itself. It's got a nice mirrored front to it, kind of has like a rock face to it. The completed look for Pyramid Head with both sword and victim in hand is definitely a piece that's going to be sitting at the very front of my shelf. It's absolutely gorgeous. I love the sculpt of it. It's a good size too. It's not a small piece. It commands presence, which is something that Pyramid Head really deserves. And the paint on it is, again, very meticulously done. Very, brings a lot of those details right out. Spot has had nothing but great customer service picking pieces up like this. This is now, again, my second piece that I have picked up. If you ever have any issues whatsoever where pieces have broken, I was worried again with the sword being as long as it was, but luckily after getting everything out of packaging, I didn't have any issues. But if anything breaks whatsoever, getting a hold of them and getting them to send you a replacement, they always will replace pieces for you. So you can certainly buy something and take it home, feel very confident that, you know, if you have any issues, customer service there is super great. Also, too, one thing I like about it too is that they have a rewards plan as well. So when you pick up pieces like Pyramid Head right here, you're always getting yourself rewards points that you can then put towards other purchases. If you get like Gathering pieces here, for example, you get a 2% reward pieces, a reward towards other purchases as well. Yeah, very, very happy with this piece. Pyramid Head, again, one of Spot's favorite pieces, one of my favorite figures from video game titles out there. Horror titles, I love horror video games. I don't play as much really as I used to, but Silent Hill and Resident Evil are always still going to be my two favorite video games. And of those games, Pyramid Head stands out to me as one of those iconic characters that as soon as you look at him, you know exactly who he is. Today's collectible Spot was showing you the Silent Hill Pyramid Head pre-painted resin statue. If you guys are interested in picking this up for yourself, you can head over to www.e2046.com and you can pick this bad boy up for yourself. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you next time.